Yeah. All right. Well, here we go, man. You guys are all upset. Good. I'm glad I got you upset. I'm glad you guys are upset right now. Good. Good. You should be upset. You should be upset because you haven't learned about hockey yet. You haven't learned about hockey yet. And because of that, that's why you're here with me. And I'm going to teach you a couple things, okay? That unfortunately, some of you veterans that know a lot about hockey still don't know this fact and this fact alone, okay? The story of tonight, okay, is it don't matter till you ain't number one. So, as far as I've checked on the standings before this thing went on, still number one, right? Still number one in the division at least? Huh? Right. So I'm not saying be happy about tonight. I'm not saying we should be thrilled about tonight. I got plenty of things I didn't like tonight, and we'll get into that, okay? But in all honesty, until you're not number one, it don't matter. You shrug it off, you keep rolling, okay? You know, if this were a championship year, you'll look back at this stretch and laugh about how, oh, I remember everyone thought that was a big deal and it wasn't. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Oh, and apparently, yes, I do have that name correct. Daedalus one. Oh, I love that name. Hopefully it's not super offensive. I don't know, so I really apologize if it is. Just reading what I see. But yeah, like, look, okay. How bad did they play tonight? Check it out. You guys don't even know how bad they played tonight, okay? Okay, here's how bad the Leafs played tonight. Ready? 29 faceoffs to 15 for Toronto, right? Power plays they converted on 1 out of 2 of, right? They got out hit. And 39 shots to their 23. Right? If you're sitting there going, but that doesn't sound that bad. Well, it's because it's not. It's because it's not, okay? They made some drastic defensive errors that cost them the game. But they outplayed Winnipeg for most of it, okay? I know it didn't look that way, because when Winnipeg got their chances, oh my goodness, did they ever convert? And how many of their chances came from the fact that the Leafs had huge turnovers, right? Oh my goodness, and how many chances did we miss, right? I mean, okay, so who's got a problem with any of the Freddie goals right now? Right? I got a problem with one, and it's not even all that big of a problem. It's the fourth one where he got walked around. I'm finally glad that there's a goal that I can point out and say that one was Freddie's fault, because people think that I would never do that, and it's not true. That last goal is his fault. He got walked. He got walked in tight to the crease. He's got to lay down that paddle or something. He's got to figure out a way to stop that guy from zipping around him like that. I know he's got coverage, and he should be taken out long before that opportunity, but that didn't look like that crazy of a deke to me for Freddie to not be able to handle it. He just didn't, you know what I mean? But by that point, that's the fourth goal. That's the fourth, okay? So there's still 3 more before that without those, maybe Freddie doesn't even let that in because he's way more confident at that point. I don't know, right? But what, 2 tip-ins? There's at least 2 tip-ins, I think. At least one. One was Austin Matthews himself. Nobody in front of the net. There's nobody for Matthews to cover, and he decides to play hacky sack. Okay? Like, let's be real about that. That's what happened. He played hacky sack, and it tipped off his skate, and in she goes. You know what I mean? So, that's not Freddie's fault. The first one was a tip-in as well, too, wasn't it? Right? Which one am I missing now? There's another one. Why is my camera spazzing out now? Come on. Don't freeze up on me now. You know what I mean? So, like, they got lucky on some shots. You know? I'm not saying Winnipeg got lucky the whole game. They fought hard. They played a really good game. And you knew it was going to be a really hard game because look at where they are in the standings. Okay? They've earned their spot in that place, right? They've been flying under the radar, doing what they need to do, and they came out hot tonight and they showed us what's up. Not to mention that Hellebuck. Oh my goodness, right? I mean, my goodness. Oh, that was the third goal. Yes, okay, so this is perfect. The Freddie Anderson goal, or the goal on Freddie, the third one, they passed it out in front from behind, right? Winnipeg does. Winnipeg passes it out from behind to a wide open man in front again, because nobody knows how to cover anybody on the team anymore for the past few days. Nobody knows how to tie up a stick or get body position on anybody. They just stand there. Their whole defense right now is I'm going to stand in front of the net and hopefully nothing bad happens, you know? And then unfortunately, Winnipeg guys are standing there too, and nobody's touching them. So, completely left uncovered, this guy pounces on the one-timer from behind the net, in she goes as well, right? Now, you might say, yeah, but Hellebuck saved one just like that down the other end, right? So why can't Freddie do that? Wrong. Hellebuck didn't do anything to save that one that Marner almost had. He didn't do anything other than throw his leg out and pray that Marner doesn't raise it more than 12 inches, right? Out of the, was it 3.5 feet, 4 feet tall net? All he has to do is raise it 12 inches, maybe 10 inches, and Marner scores that goal, okay? He just didn't. You know what I mean? He missed. He missed. Now, I'm not blaming him for the entire loss of a game or nothing, but I'm just trying to show you guys that Freddie did the same thing on our side, okay? Except when the Winnipeg guy got it, roofsies, right? Or at least halfway up the net. Get it off the ice, right? So the Leafs were just choking on all kinds of offensive opportunities that they created for themselves. Like I said, almost 40 shots still, right? Like, officially, they didn't play that badly. They just could not convert, though. Right? They could just not convert, which is, think about it, that's different than how they lost the last game, and that's different than how they lost the game before that. Right? They're not losing the same way every night. It is changing. They are having different problems. Yes, it's 3 in a row. That sucks. I'm not happy about this, guys. This is not a game to be proud of. There's no take a moral victory in a loss like this. This sucks because Winnipeg's right behind us. So with that loss, they now catch up 4 points. Right? Officially. In the standings, it'll be 2. But if you think about it, we lost 2 as well. An opportunity to lose 2 more. We talked about that in one of the other streams, right? That because it's all interdivisional play, right? That there's things that, like, when you lose, you're actually losing 4 points on that team. That one team in particular. They're closing the gap. Right? Because if you were playing different teams on the same night, you know, if they win, you could win too, and then, like, still nothing happened. But there's no chance of that when you're playing each other, right? So you're kind of losing a 4-point gap there. That sucks. It sucks. And honestly, they're going to have to figure it out before the next game. We cannot go into this like losing 2 out of 3 or even 3 out of 3, of course. Not to the Jets. No way. Because what it'll mean if the Leafs lose to the Jets more than like 2 or 3 times here, okay, if they do, like, if they lose all 3, maybe even if they just lose 2, what that does is it sends a message to the rest of the league: we're human, right? And teams that might have been scared to play us before because of what's been happening, right? With us steamrolling Edmonton and stuff like that. Teams that would have been scared are going to see us lose 2 to Vancouver and then 1, 2, 3. Let's see now against Winnipeg. Already that seed is going to be planted in other teams' minds. Oh yeah, they are just the Leafs. Screw the Leafs. Why are we scared of the Leafs? They always do this, right? That's what they're going to be saying. And the Leafs cannot afford to have other teams thinking that they're the old Leafs. They did a very good job in the first chunk of this season, establishing themselves as a new and improved Leafs, playing differently, scoring a bunch of goals differently, using all their players instead of just a top line. They've been doing great things this season to prove that they're different. But if they fall into a few more patterns like this and it continues on for much longer, they're going to lose the mental edge that they have on every other team. And then they have to figure out a way to get that back. And that's a hard thing to get back when you've lost it. You know? So by all means, this is not the end of the world, okay? Still on the top. And until that changes, that's it. That's all you got to worry about. I don't even really care if we finish 2nd or 3rd, as long as we make a playoff spot, guys. That's what we're fighting for. People always forget. A President's Trophy means nothing. Who cares? Who cares? In the long run, right? Selkies and rocket trophies and you name it, you know what I mean? Vesnas, all that stuff. None of that matters. Those are nice, bonus, flowery, after the fact things, but nobody cares. They only care about the one, right? The one you hold up, the one you give a big smooch, the one everybody's drank out of, had babies in, lost in bars and on the sides of the road. That's the one everybody cares about, okay? None of them else matter, and it doesn't matter how you get there, all right? So straight up, you can say what you want, you can freak out if you want, but if you want to seem like a real professional when you go into work tomorrow, or when you go into school tomorrow, or wherever you're going, okay, just act like you've been there before, okay? Act like this ain't the end of the world. Act like whatever somebody has to say to you just slides right off your back, because you're still having a great season. You know what I mean? Where are they? Where are their teams? You got to ask yourself. Boston just lost to New Jersey Devils 1-0. They got shut out yesterday, right? Wasn't it yesterday? And then I thought I saw just one of you guys right now saying Tampa's losing to Detroit. Like, we are not the only ones having our struggles, okay? I beg you, start looking at these other teams and these people that are chirping you, and you'll see their story's worse than ours right now. It is. For a lot of these other teams, their story is worse than their story is worse than ours. There's been coach firings. There's been player trades because they just didn't care. Winnipeg. Yeah, you can thank me for that, Winnipeg, by the way. Remember, I'm the one that told you guys to get rid of Line A. Now you have, and look what's happening. Your team's getting positive. Your team's fighting hard. Your team's actually doing something that matters this season. That's great. Good for you, Winnipeg. All right? But just remember, I called that back before it happened. Literally the day before it happened. I called it. Got to get rid of Line A. He's useless. He's irrelevant. You know what I mean? Then now look. So, you know, every team's got their stories right now. All right. So if you're thinking we're the only ones, right, that have to freak out or that have to make massive trades or any of that stuff, check yourself, okay? Check that Toronto ego of yours, that egocentric, the whole world revolves around my city and my team. It don't, okay? And there's plenty of other teams out there struggling, and I beg you, just find one or two pieces of information and watch how quickly these chirps you're hearing shut up. Throw one of those at them, any one of the bit of information you find about any of these other teams, and you'll see how much it hurts them, because they're going through it too, man, all right? So that's all I'm going to say about that. That's really what sums it all up for me, okay? It sucks, and at the same time, who cares? All right? So now I want to see what you guys have to say. Sound good? All right, let me see if I can catch up here a little bit. I swear this new camera really shows how bad my skin is. Ugh. Anyways, guys, make sure you subscribe, okay? This thing is growing bigger and bigger, and you won't want to miss the chaos that the trubeleafer will find himself in. I'm the most unique NHL 21 channel on YouTube. I dare you to prove me otherwise. Bye!